Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching this show from. My name is Denise Belisle, and I'm a Serenity expert and positive intelligence specialist. Welcome to It's All Good. Luke is here for a chat. I have the honor today to have Howard Brown as my guest, and I'll let you discover all about him. He's a author and cancer recovery expert. He's survived himself, and he's laughing in the background here. He survived, and then he thrived, and he has great news and information to share with you today. But before we get started, I want to tell you more about me and this show and why it's called It's All Good. My guests that I have are usually people that works with people just like you, people that are wanting to learn more about themselves, wanting to grow, wanting to explore new avenues, either in business or personal. And and even before we go even further, I'd like to welcome you to click on this video and say that you like it. Subscribe if you watch that on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel, and you can comment also, and we can read your comment. And if it's a question, then we can answer it. If it's a question after you watch this show, you can do #replay. I have a question and type it up, and we'll answer those questions also. Back to It's All Good. Well, first of all, it's my favorite cup. It's all good. I had this cup, and then I was starting this show, and I was like, "How am I going to call this show?" And it just came to me. It's all good. And what happened is I found that it's my way of living. It's the way I live my life, regardless of what happened, whether it's in the past or anticipation of the future. I usually take a step back and say, it's all good. Things will happen the way it's supposed to be. If it's the past, well, it's the past. I can change it. How can I move forward in the future and then live the present so that my life is filled and I'm happy? So it's all about mindset and how you perceive and you decide to live your life. So I invite you to explore a new avenue with the events that are happening in your life so that you can discover these gems that are hidden into sometime turmoil or anticipating future that you're uncertain. It's like the yin and the yang, right? There's always that little black dot in the white section and that little white dot in the black section. So it's always a balance of there's always some good and something bad, and so something bad and something good. And then what do you say? It's all good. So without any further delay, let's welcome Howard Brown. Here he is. Welcome, Howard. I'm so happy to have you here.
Hi, Denise. It's all good. Oh, I'm so
So
excited.
good.
It's all good. I'm so excited to be here with you. And I just love it because I, like you, I'm all about positivity, positivity with action. And it's so good to be here. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. And I look forward for you to share your story with the people that are listening. So without any further ado, please tell us about how you got into being where you are now and why you're here. Mhm.
Well, why I'm
And
here
who
is
you are.
friends of Denise is a very good thing, and so we became friends online, and and we invited each other to each other's podcasts to help spread the word. But you mentioned in the intro that I happen to be a cancer expert. Nobody wants to become a cancer expert except if you're in research or you're a doctor. I'm on the patient side, and it doesn't define me. But, I'm a dad. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm
Yeah.
a husband. I'm a good charitable person. That's who I really am. But
Yeah.
by nature and trade, I'm a Silicon Valley entrepreneur. I love being a mentor. I love doing volunteer work in the interfaith space. And yes, I am a two-time stage 4 cancer patient, survivor, and advocate. So I do have expertise in getting knocked down and trying to put myself back together again. I call it putting Humpty Dumpty back together again, because that's what you have to do. It breaks you way down. And so
Yeah.
I do have an expertise in that. And it, um, it
And I
can
love
get
your
very,
positive attitude. I love you always smiling. You're always very energetic. I mean, you learn to really appreciate life for what it is.
yes. And quite frankly, I'm putting on a great inspirational, talk with you today, but there are very dark times, very depressive
Mhm.
times, isolating times, painful times, and you try to have your brain put those away. But you live with that. And so for everyone that's going through cancer treatment, the patient themselves, their caregivers, it sucks. SUX sucks. And you have to be able to build up your resilience, because if you don't, bad things happen, things stay dark, things stay lonely, and for you and the people around you. So what I've tried to do is put together a blueprint in order to lead a resilient life. And the first thing about leading a resilient life is to be able to do your self-care. You are your best advocate. You have
Mhm.
to actually tell your doctors, your family, and others, what you need. You have to be able to do that. And the magic is that once you actually are feeling a little bit better and you have any strength at all, you go lift up others, because imagine the endorphins, the positivity, the excitement, the inspiration by lifting someone else up. This is the truth,
Yeah,
right? And then when we're
absolutely.
then together, and I call this sharing of the light. We get our own light. It could be flickering, and then you get it glowing, and then you light up someone else, and then together we will shine, and we will shine brightly, and that makes the world a better place. That's the place that you and I like hanging out.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's great. So I heard that you were saying that you are a twin to sister Seiji Brown Jengra. So what is it like to be a twin?
I love your accent. CJ Brown,
Yeah.
Jinger. She's great. So, all right, imagine this, that my mom at 19 years old has twins. She has the baby girl first. 5 minutes later, out comes a baby boy, right? And so I have to tell you, it's very special being a twin. She is my best friend. She's also my wife's best friend. She's everyone's best friend. She is, if there were a saint on earth, CJ is a saint on earth. We grew up, and we were always best friends. We call ourselves the Wonder Twins, named after, there's an American cartoon called the Wonder Twins.
Oh, that's
And
super
it's
cool.
a girl and a boy, and they say, Wonder Twin powers activate. And it's very special, because not only are we best friends, and my best friends for life, she did something that no one else in this entire world could do. Okay. And this is accelerating a little bit, but when I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, I failed all the chemotherapies, and they told me I didn't have long to live, but they tested my twin sister to see if her bone marrow was remotely compatible, a 25% chance, and it was a 100% match.
Oh my God.
Imagine that. That is a miracle. And her bone marrow saved my life. I had a bone marrow transplant May 24th, 1990. This is in analog times, no cell phones, no computers to speak of, no internet. And she gave me her bone marrow, and her bone marrow became my defense system and beat back the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And she truly gave of herself and saved my life.
Oh, that's really nice.
It's
So
amazing.
you're forever, you know, definitely the power twin for sure.
She's the power twin, but I am grateful, and I would have done it for her in a heartbeat. But this is an amazing thing of at age 24 that I got to continue my life, and there's quite a few miracles that happen. Not just that's one. So I am a very blessed, grateful, and lucky person, many times over.
So what brought you to work at Silicon Valley as an entrepreneur?
So I caught the bug. My dad sold cowboy boots. I didn't want to sell cowboy boots and women's shoes and apparel at all, but I did like the idea of sales. And so I went to Babson College outside of Boston. It's the number
Yeah.
one school for entrepreneurship. And I caught a bug. And after healing from cancer 1, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, I moved to Southern California. And I was working for a big computer company, and another big computer company, AT&T, bought NCR, and they offered early retirement at age 26. And I went to my first startup called Avid Technology in the audio video editing space, and we changed the way that television and film and commercials were made from analog to digital. So they used to be made on film and tape, and then we changed it to made on a hard drive and a mouse. And I didn't look back. I've only worked at startups ever since. And my time in Los Angeles allowed me to build my reputation, get my life back, get my health back. And I got tapped on the shoulder by a venture capitalist named Ann Winblad. And she said, what you did for video, how'd you like to do that for audio? and it was a company called Liquid Audio. I moved up to Silicon Valley in Redwood City, and it was amazing to be in Silicon Valley. Just the buzz. This is where technology was being invented and changing the world.
Yeah,
Although
yeah.
everyone's a workaholic, but I ended up getting in, and unfortunately, Liquid Audio was at the time of the Sony Walkman and the cassette tape. We weren't
Mm.
ready for it. 10 years later, Steve Jobs and iTunes came about. But the company went public. I learned a lot. But we also made a ton of mistakes because 2 plus 2 does not equal 17. That was the new math in Silicon Valley. But I have a love for innovation, and
Hmm.
entrepreneurship in technology space is innovation. And so there are winners and there are losers, but all of a sudden, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook back then, LinkedIn, these are the ones that won. There's so many more that didn't win. All right. And they're
Yeah.
either out of business or they keep trying. But it's exciting to try to ideate and bring a solution, a service, or a real product to market, have someone pay for it, grow your market share. There's something exciting about that. And entrepreneurship and technology, it changes economies in the
Hmm.
world.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely. I mean,
it's
it's the
powerful.
pulse.
And so that's in my DNA. And I still innovate today, but I innovate a little bit differently because
Yeah.
I'm now changed over to be an author, a podcaster, a speaker. But I'm reinventing myself after cancer number 2, which I
So
won't get ahead of myself.
now you're a cancer advocate. So
I,
share me a little bit about what you do about that.
So most of the time in cancer advocacy, we basically are shouting for the rooftop for people to get their screenings. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, me particularly, I work in the colorectal cancer space. So getting a colonoscopy is vital at age 45, or if you have any symptoms or any family genetics, it's vital. It can save your life. Imagine, doing a colonoscopy test and not having to go through chemotherapy and surgeries and all the suffering that I've had to go through or other patients. Go get your mammogram, okay, to check for breast cancer. Go get your prostate checked if you're a guy. These are things that we shout at the rooftops from, because if you get them early enough, you have a chance.
Yeah.
If you get them late, like I did in the stage 3 and stage 4 world, things get worse. They get dark. There's a lot of death, and you could be on chemotherapy or in treatment for life, and life becomes hard. So that's part of it. The other part of advocacy is getting research dollars, because we need to actually get cancer is a massive industry, and there are 16.3 million people living with cancer, living longer, and people are living longer in general. But in the next probably 7 years, 23 to 25 million people will be living with cancer. And so we have to now understand that it's a disability of some sorts.
Yeah.
Just like COVID, it affects you emotionally, physically, financially, as well as in relationships. A
Of
lot of
course.
relationships are broken when you get sick, a disease. And so my advocacy becomes part of my healing. I go to these conferences and I learn and I get educated. There's new exciting things happening, and one of them is called liquid biopsy, and I won't spend too much time on it, but it's a blood test that detects the shedding of cancer cells in your bloodstream. This could be a game changer, and there are millions and billions of dollars being spent on these certain blood test panels that for all types of cancers that could actually, just like going to your doctor once a year and doing your normal blood test, get your flu shot, this could actually tell you lots of information and
Mm.
save your life. And so that's another part of advocacy, is the research side of things
Yeah. Yeah.
that we need to learn. So it's again, I didn't expect it, but coming through cancer twice, this is a passion of mine.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And are you still working in the I will call that the nerd industry? Like like where
It's the nerd industry. I love it. So I'll take that as a big compliment. Now,
Yes, it is. It is.
I've never been a coder, but they take their pride in being a nerd very well, because coding the lines of code actually allow us to connect over
Of
Restream
course,
today.
of
So
course.
we need those nerds. I am a little bit nerdy. I have some consulting projects that I work on. I mentor, and mentorship's a big theme in my book, and big theme for me. Startup businesses from Babson students, and I keep my hand in it right now. But right now I'm focusing on book, podcast, speaking, and getting myself fully healthy, which I am right now.
Well, that's wonderful. And so I imagine after living, through what you've lived through, to cancer and then getting your health back, I'm sure you developed some hobbies and some things that you like to do and explore. So tell me a little bit more about the sports and the things that you like in life. What's your happy place?
I love that. So here's the thing. One of the magical things about healing and survivorship, and this is for everybody coming out of COVID too, find your happy place. Now,
Hmm.
a happy place can be something that you've done for a long time. Like me, it's basketball, and we'll talk more about that. But is it yoga? Is it cooking? Is it hiking? Is it art? Is it something travel?
Painting, singing,
It could be anything, right? So I find that I am stress free on the basketball court. I
Mm.
find myself in a zone where I am just so relaxed. I love it. There's trash talking going on. There's gamesmanship, where there's teamwork going on at the same time. And I've been playing with these guys a long time, so we know each other. And I just there do not feel any stress. I don't feel like a cancer patient survivor advocate. I just feel like me on the court. And I try to do it 3 times a week. And it's healthy for me. And it's healthy for the mind, body, and my soul. Other people, they meditate, they find yoga, they go get massage. All that's great. I support all of it. Find your happy place and allow that to take you to some freedom and freeness.
Yeah, we have a comment that says happiness is an inside job,
I love
right?
that comment. That's a really great comment. It is. And so I found my happy place, and I may have been a little crazy because during chemotherapy and as soon as after surgery, I went back on the basketball court. So you have to be a little more careful than me. I was a little bit of a daredevil, but that right there is great. But I love hiking and biking and the outdoors. Nature just has something. It's something healing about nature.
Absolutely. I mean, there's lots of energy coming out of, imagine the planet, the trees and the earth and the water. Like, I mean, it's they don't need us to live and survive. They actually thrive when we get out of the way, right? So all that energy that is out there, so when we walk in nature, we're being absorbed by that, we're absorbing that energy, we're being surrounded by that energy. And I think, anytime we can be in nature, and like they talk about grounding, right? Like walking barefoot in the water, in the sand, in the grass, touching trees, hugging trees. All of that is an exchange of energy that fill our cup too.
I think it's just I hug many trees. Someone said, but it's better to be at the beach or in a mountain or at a lake or it's just for some reason it's just better.
Yeah, that's great. And talk to me about your book that's coming out now.
Oh
What's
my
happening
goodness!
with that?
All right, so imagine this: that I never planned to be a published author, but my friend David Crum, who's my editor from Front Edge Publishing in Ann Arbor, Michigan, he said you have to leave a legacy. I didn't know if I was going to live or die. We had coffee together. We had 10 chapter titles written, and he says, let's write a book. And I said, I'll get back to you. I called him back and I said, I have one condition. I know my strength, and my strength, writing, grammar, and punctuation are optional, but I'm a good speaker. If you'll allow me over Zoom to record sessions with influential people of my family, business, mentors, camp counselors, doctors, and we can record those, we'll have the basis for a manuscript and turn those into chapters. And it took 3 years. And tomorrow, Amazon release for the hard copy, the paperback, and the Kindle ebook are there. And I'll hold up the cover. And
Whoa, congratulations.
I'll give a close.
Oh, you can't hear you, the camera, so for some
Oh,
reason the
it's
sound
blocking
doesn't
me.
go. Yeah,
All right.
it's hiding the mic.
Yeah. So
Shining
this is,
brightly.
yeah,
Wonderful.
it's
I
shining
love that. The
brightly.
phoenix coming out of
Well, that
the
one's
light
not a
bulb.
phoenix. No, Denise, it's not a phoenix because I didn't like the phoenix. It's kind of an ugly bird. Even though Rise of the Phoenix twice with cancer makes a lot of sense. That's a dove. And the dove is for peace, hope, and love.
Oh, that's
And so
beautiful.
that's my energy through the light bulb, shining out peace, love, and hope. And that's really important. So the book is really, it has cancer chapters, but this is my memoir, and it talks about the importance of family. It talks about the family of maintaining friendship. It talks about light. light is a central theme in this book because
Mhm.
you need to actually use and strengthen your own light so that and share that with others. And then we become a force multiplier with light. And okay, there's a lot of bad stuff happening in the world. All right, you can't stick your head in the sand. There's lots of yucky stuff, but let's focus on helping others rise up that need it. That is what we are put on this earth to do. And together we will shine brightly and make the world a better place. And that's the side of things that you and I, Denise, that's where we stand together.
Mhm. Yeah, because I feel also I agree completely with you. It's up, like if I want to create peace on earth, it's up to me. Like because I influence, even though we influence each other, you and I, because we're both very positive, but just having this podcast, this live, it does influence the people that are listening, and these people will be influencing the people around them, and so on and so on. So every time we bring our energy into this world, the positive reactive energy into that world, then we can move forward. And as 𝙎𝙪𝙧 said, it's like, yeah, meditate for peace, because every time we spend even a minute, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time when we meditate for peace and love, is that vibration goes into the ether, goes into the universe, and everyone is affected. So being positive, being energetic, being wanting to help others, and stop feeling sorry for ourselves, make a big difference in the world.
Yeah, so I call this book Resilience to Hope because this is a life lesson plan that I use, and people can choose to imitate it or create their own flavor. It's fine, you know. But the book really it's a lesson in how to live a good resilient life, but also it ends with hope. So just like sharing a hug, which we all couldn't do during COVID, or sharing love, or sharing a cup of coffee with someone, sharing hope. Hope is the thing that kept me going, and I had motivations. All right. Did I want to see my daughter graduate high school? Yes. And I
Yeah,
did. Did I want to see her graduate college? She's going to graduate this year. Now I'm being very daring, Denise. I want to walk her down the aisle at the
that's
right
awesome.
time. You've got to
Yeah,
put
of
those
course,
motivations in front
of
of you
course.
and chase those motivations like an entrepreneur with, and that's the difference. When I was 23 with cancer, I was a deer in the headlights. This time around, I had responsibility. I was married. I was a dad, and I was focused like a Marine on a mission. I wanted to live. And the funny thing is that you would think that I want what I want to get. I want to be selfish. What can I get out of life? That's not actually what I thought. I said, I need to start giving more. I need
Mhm.
to give more.
Yeah.
And that's basically, I've lived my life that way, but I'm now focused on it, laser focused on giving more, whether that's my interfaith work, cancer work, mentorship work, my nerd work. And that's what I do. So I'm here to motivate, educate, and inspire, and that's the platform I'm choosing to be on.
Yeah, the more you give, the more you receive, because giving is love, right?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
I
So it's
love that.
exciting. It's exciting time for me.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And so I was when you were staging the your daughter's stage, I was like, and then you want to be a grandfather and you want to play with your grandkids, you know?
Well, that'll come.
That will come.
We'll hope for that. But right now, graduate college and get her job and get out there in the world. We'll support her. She's very big into the outdoors and this nature. She climbs mountains in snowshoes and jumps out of airplanes. She's very much one with the environment. This next generation, and we support her and for that. And she has a chapter in the book as well.
Oh,
She's
that's
our
cool.
miracle girl. Now, I'm glad you brought her up because I didn't want to miss this. When I before I did chemotherapy in 1989 for the first time, Dr. Eric Rubin, my liver function was too high. He said, "Come back tomorrow, but go on a field trip to the cryogenic center." I'm 23 years old. They told me I have very few months to live, and he's sending me to the sperm bank. And I had no idea why, but I did it. I went. I gave a sample. Now imagine this: I meet the love of my life, Lisa, in California, trying to heal myself. So good things are starting to happen. My career starts to take off. We move to Silicon Valley and we order the sperm samples, and through in vitro fertilization, miracle baby, I get a beautiful daughter.
Oh,
Okay. So not only did my twin sister save my life through a bone marrow transplant, but I get a daughter through frozen sperm 11 years later. And I had this amazing, crazy surgery where they put hot chemo in my abdomen and my pelvis, and that saved my life from colorectal cancer. I've been, as I said it once, I'll say it again. I've been very blessed, very lucky, and very grateful.
And thank you for that doctor for suggesting it. I mean, that's super amazing.
Doctors don't normally talk about sexuality, and nor do they talk about preservation. Some good ones do. It needs to be discussed because more people are living with cancer. And quite frankly, I had no idea I was going to use it. And we ended up needing it and using it and got a healthy baby girl. It's
What
amazing.
else? Yeah, I know. What else do you want, right?
That's not, you know what? It's not just all good like your title of your show. It's all great. It's all great.
That's fantastic. And tell me, like you talked about your book being released tomorrow. So how can people find you? You're on
All right.
Amazon?
Yes. So you can search Howard Brown or Shining Brightly on Amazon, or you can contact me at shiningbrightly.com, just my
Okay.
website. And here's the beautiful thing we were discussing before that we came on air is that if you order a book on Amazon, I will actually send an autographed book plate. This is a signed sticker because you can't get to all these book signings anymore, but people put in their address on my website through your contact form. I'll mail you a customized autographed book plate for your book. Can't do that for the Kindle, but for the paperback or the hard
Kindle is
copy
a bit
edition.
difficult.
Yeah. And I just there's lots of great information on the book. There's a discussion guides on survivorship for cancer and life. There's a discussion guide for mentorship is leadership and entrepreneurship. There's also interfaith. Why welcome the other and be kind and welcome the other. And by doing that, we shine brightly together. This is my got to wear shades when it's so
I
sunny and
love
rainy
it.
out there,
I
right? So
love it. The mirror shade.
yeah. So, so that's it's great. It's an amazing time. It took 3 years. It's not easy to publish a book, as you know. You've done a bunch, and I'm just so excited. This is just a catalyst and a springboard for good things coming.
Well, wonderful. Well, I'm so happy that you were here with me today. And everybody will put the link in the chat of, like, if you have that that Amazon link, just share it with me. We'll put it in the chat so people can go pre-order it right away or go tomorrow and go buy it, because I think that'll be great that you sell 1,000 books in a day. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Be an Amazon bestseller. But yeah, I think people they're really it's interesting. You don't have to read the book sequentially. You could read a different chapter. I give homework in the chapters to suggest
Oh,
you
nice.
to get interactive and to think about your own life. This is meant for you to take stock and where you're at and where you want to be.
And what's the favorite part before we go? The last thing, what's the favorite part in your book?
Well, I would have said the basketball chapter, but the chapter there's a chapter on something called 𝙎𝙖𝙪. 𝙎𝙖𝙪 is a Yiddish word for meaning the match. How did I know that I get better from cancer one and I meet the love of my life, Lisa, who I've been married for 28 years? I meet a Michigan girl in Santa Monica, California. What are the odds, right, to meet my 𝙎𝙪, my bride? And so it's a very great story with pictures from my wedding 28 years ago and how I got there, and then how we got Emily. That family is my favorite part.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so happy for you. So thank you for being my guest today. I really honor you, and good luck in your book launch
You're helping,
tomorrow.
and thank you. Yes.
And stay there. I'll be right back with you. Thank you so much for watching. This was such a great interview, just to show you that regardless of the speed bump that you might get in your life, life is all good. You got to move forward. You got to fight for what you believe, and you got to move into the direction that you set yourself goal and you go get it. So right now, Howard's next goal is to have his daughter graduate from college and be there. So that's goal number one. And then walk her down the aisle when she decides to get married. So we'll see where things go. We'll follow up on that. So I wish you a great day. Thank you for listening. And until next time, be kind to one another. And I'll see you next week. Take care.